this is Linda Cochran from Love and Learn Yoga. Thank you for joining me today in this third beginner's yoga practice. We'll be exploring some standing poses. These give us strong legs, a firm foundation, and of course also flexibility. And then we'll be ending the practice with a more relaxing, restorative pose and of course Shavasana. For today's practice you'll need 3 blankets, or if you don't have yoga blankets, of course you can use substitute blankets. Something firm is good, or some thick beach towels will work. So 3 of those and 2 blocks. I'll meet you back at the mat. Now set up your blankets, 2 or 3 blankets. Come to sitting on your blankets. So the height of the blankets depends on your hips. If your knees are up high, you need a little more height. If your knees fall down, your hips are more flexible, you need less height. So ideally you want the knees in line with the hips. So come to sitting, cross your legs, walk the feet out towards the knees so your legs are crossed more towards the center of the shins. Draw the buttocks flush back and bring your hands to the front of your knees. Let the knees relax down, the inner groins release down. Press your hands into the knees and draw up through your arms. Broaden, feel how the collarbones broaden out towards the shoulders, and sit tall. Take the navel back to the spine. Take the top of the buttocks down towards the blankets. And just join the palms. Just take a minute here with your palms pressing, the right palm pressing into the left pressing into the right. Use the thumbs to lift the breastbone up. Exhale, release your shoulders and your elbows down. Soften and close your eyes. Just take a minute here to tune in to yourself. Take a couple of deeper breaths. Tune into your breath. And tune everything out that's happening in your day. Prepare to start your yoga practice. Inhale, re-lift your chest, keeping that lift. Exhale, lower your chin down. Lower your hands to your thighs. Inhale, lift your head. Open your eyes. Good. And then interlace, join the palms in the front, interlace the hands, turn the palms out. Open up the palms, draw the thumbs and the little fingers back towards you, and press the outer arms, the elbows in towards each other. Inhale and lift your arms up, reaching up. Feel how you, with your hands and your arms lifting up, how the side ribs lift up and away from the side of the pelvis. And exhale, releasing down. Change the interlace. Other index, other thumb on top. Turn the palms out. Broaden across the palms. Press out through the middle fingers. Stretch your arms, stretch your elbows, press them towards each other. Inhale and lift. Lift the shoulder blades, lift the side ribs. Breathe. Take your arms back behind your ears if possible. And release. Now bring your 2 blocks over. Notice which leg you have in front. Now change that crossing. put 2 blocks in the front. Press your hands down on the blocks, fingertips down. Press down and move the outer hips back. And then walk the blocks forward. Now, if this is difficult, you can lift these blocks up. Now, as you reach the blocks forward, move, pretend you're watching with the chest. So, reaching forward, coming forward, release your head down, exhale. Relax your belly, spread the navel. And slide your blocks back. Cross the legs back to how you started. Hands on the blocks, press down, sit tall. Roll the inner arms forward, broaden across the chest. And then press your hands into the block, bring your hips back. And then slide those blocks out or walk those blocks out. Look forward with your chest. Look forward with the chest. Then let the head go. Release your head. Exhale. Spread your navel. Look up, walk your blocks back, bring the blocks back, come upright, and join the knees. Good, now join me for a little bit of work with the feet. So spread out a blanket. Have your 2 blocks. Here. Now, tuck your toes under. See how my toes are tucked. Now lift one knee up and just move that knee back so your toes get even more tucked. Same with the other. Move the knee back so your toes are even more tucked. And then sit back on the heels. Now if it's hard to sit back on the heels, bring your blanket there. Join the heels together. Sit back. And for some people, this is a very strong stretch of the soles of the feet. So you can bring your blocks in. And now lean back till your shoulders come over your hips. Descend the buttocks. Feel those toes spreading on the blanket. And just observe this stretch of the soles of the feet. Toes spreading. Descend the buttocks. And then walk the blocks forward. Now, stretch your toes out. Stretch your toes out. And again, if you like, put this blanket over. And that blanket helps you to keep your heels together as you sit back. So now you're getting a stretch of the front of the feet, the inner feet, the big toes towards the ankles. You should feel a stretch there. Descending the buttocks down. And let's do one more stretch. Interlace the hands, turn the palms, stretch up. Lift the navel. Roll the inner arms back. And again, change the interlace. Inhale, lift up. Buttocks descending. Ribs lifting, back ribs lifting. Inner arms rolling back. And release. Now come up. And join me next for a few standing poses. Now this next pose is Adho Mukha Virasana. So sit with your big toes together, knees apart. If you need to, have a little blanket between the heels and the buttocks. Send the buttocks down. Draw your legs up towards the hips and bend forward. Bring your hands on the blocks. Roll the inner arms forward. Move the sternum bone, the chest bone up towards the chin. And then walk the blocks forward, reaching forward. Pressing the hands down, taking the hips back, reaching the chest forward, and descending your head down between your arms. Now you can bring this block in. Place your hands on the mat. Now if your shoulders are up high and your head is descending down a lot to reach the mat, your chest is concaving in. So then raise the block. Raise the block higher for your head. Back of the neck is long. Press the index, the thumbs, and roll your inner arms towards the ceiling. Spread the belly. And then come forward on all fours. Now just move this blanket out of the way. And let's come into downward facing dog. Let's do it on 2 blocks. A block on the side of the mat. Press all the knuckles down. Roll your inner arms forward. Your knees are a little bit behind the hips. Tuck your toes and come up. And again, if your the hamstrings are really tight, you can bend the knees here and press from your hands up to your outer hips. Take those hips up and back. Take the chest towards the legs. And then stay there and see what happens when you straighten the legs. Can the chest stay? That depends on the hamstrings here. Now press the feet, lift the heels, draw up through the inner and outer legs. Firm the legs, lift the kneecaps. Press the thighs back and the shins back. Keep pressing with your hands and start to take your heels down towards the floor without losing the lift of the hips. Even lift the toes up. The heels may not come all the way down. And then walk or bring your knees down. And let's come up to standing. Now for Tadasana, we're going to use 1 block. Mountain pose. So come to the center of your mat. Have a block. Place that block. This might seem kind of odd, but place this block between the inner thighs. At the top of the inner thighs. Bring your hand, the thumbs, to the base of the spine. And move the thumbs down to move the tailbone, base of the spine, forward. So I'm not tugging. So as I move the tailbone forward, I press the block, the thighs back, so the block presses back, and I press my inner thighs, my inner groins back. And then I take the tailbone down again, and I lift that tailbone, the end of the spine, up the front of my body, lifting the navel, lifting the chest, rolling the shoulders back. And just feel that block between your legs. Press into the block, press the outer thighs in. Press the knees in. Draw and firm the muscles on your legs. Lift the kneecaps. Roll the inner thighs back. So repeating those actions. Firming the legs. Pressing in. Feet pressing. Inner and outer feet pressing. Inner thighs rolling back. And tailbone pressing forward. Front body lifting. Now keeping all that, stretch your arms up. Hold the elbows, reach up. Press both feet. Reach a little bit to the right. Press both feet and to the left. Take your arms down. Inhale, stretch up. Interlace the thumbs. Stretch up, tail, buttocks moving towards the heels, back ribs lifting, and reach to the left, to your right, and come up, pressing your right foot, go to the left, and come up, and release. Take the block out. The next pose will be warrior pose number 2. So stand back in Tadasana, now with your feet together. Spread the toes. Firm, press the outer legs in as if the block was there. And roll the inner legs back. Firm the thighs, lift the kneecaps. Tailbone going down towards the block and forward. And the front of the spine lifting up. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. And jump wide or walk. Bring your, turn your right foot to the right, turn the back foot in just a tiny bit. Press into that back foot and lift the inner ankle bone up. And then exhale and bend the leg deeply. Bend the leg and just see where that knee goes. Bend the leg. Reach through the back hand. Warrior pose, turn your head, look over your right hand. Press the inner knee back on that bent leg. Press the outer thigh forward on that bent right leg. So inner knee back, outer thigh forward. Keeping the back heel, outer heel pressing. And inhale, come up. Turn the toes forward. If you get tight in your arms, bring them to the hips. Release the shoulder blades down. And then inhale, reach your arms out. Roll those shoulder blades down. Exhale and turn your left foot. And turn from the inner thigh. Press the back heel, lift the inner arch, the inner ankle bones on that back foot. And keeping that pressing, bend the leg. Bend the leg. Reach a little more through your back hand. Look over your left hand. Now bring your mind to that bent leg. Bring the inner knee, press it back to the outer knee. Press the outer thigh on that bent leg. Press that forward. So the inner knee goes back. And the outer thigh in the buttock area moves forward. Keep pressing the back outer heel. And inhale. Come up. Turn the toes. Join the hands. And jump your feet together. Stand tall. Tadasana. And for your next pose, have 2 blocks. Put them higher setting or lower setting, you can adjust. Stand in Tadasana. Find your balance. Lift the chest. Firm the legs. Jump your legs wide. Reach out through your fingertips. Roll the shoulders down. Press the thighs back here. Turn your right foot. Make that turn come from the inner thigh, rotating to the outer thigh. Press the back heel, and like in Tadasana, press the front of the thigh back. Now bend the leg deeply. Bend the leg, keeping the inner knee going back. And then continue over. Exhale. Bring your top hand on the waist, other hand on the block. You're going to have your fingertips on the block. Now press that inner knee into the elbow. Press the elbow against the inner knee. Bend that leg. And then turn the trunk. Turn these lower ribs forward. Take the top shoulder back. Stretch your arm out. Turn the palm. Reach it over. Back heel pressing down. Reaching through your top fingers and turn even more. Just look straight ahead. Inhale, come up. Turn the toes. And let's go to the other side. Exhale, turn that left foot out all the way, turning from the inner thigh. Pressing the back heel. Pressing the front thigh to the back thigh. Bend the left leg deeply. Keeping that inner knee going back. Exhale, come all the way over. Top hand on the waist. Other hand on the block behind. And you can lift those blocks up, that block up. Now press that outer knee into the elbow. Press the elbow into the outer knee. And turn the trunk. Turn those lower ribs forward. Top shoulder back. Keep pressing that inner knee to the outer knee. Reach your top arm. Turn the palm up. Reach it over your head. Keep that back heel pressing to take the thigh back. Reach through your top fingers and turn. And inhale, come up. Turn forward. Join your feet a little bit. Jump your legs together. Tadasana. Find your balance here. Top of the buttocks down. Take a breath. I'm going to do Trikonasana. So have your blocks behind you. Triangle pose. Inhale. Jump your legs wide. Stretch out through your arms. Roll your shoulders down. Turn your right foot out. Turn the back foot in just a little bit, pressing that back heel. Now draw up through this leg. Firm this hip in right here. Draw up through the front leg, what I call the front leg, and reach, reach, come onto the block, top hand on the waist, turn again those lower ribs forward, top shoulder back, press into the back foot, and now stretch that arm up, reach up. Press your hand into the block, whatever setting works for you. Press your hand into the block. Roll that shoulder away from your ear. Reach through the crown of your head. Imagine I'm pulling the head. And inhale, come up. Bend your leg. Turn forward. Let's go to the other side. Left leg out. Back heel pressing, back foot turning in just a tiny bit. Be strong and firm in the legs. Reach over. Hand on the block. Top hand on the waist. You can be on your fingertips. Turn the chest. Back heel pressing. Reach your top arm up. Turn the chest. Roll that bottom shoulder away from your ear. Draw the shoulder blade into the back. Draw up through that front leg. Inhale, come up. And jump your feet together. Now, we're going to repeat Trikonasana. I've turned my mat so you can see what happens sometimes in this pose. So, maybe watch me first. Be on your mat, centered, legs wide, tailbone down, pressing the thighs back. Now I'm turning my foot, rolling the inner thigh out, coming into the pose. So sometimes when we come into the pose, this outer thigh, buttock area goes back, and we really want to reach the floor, and my chest is all closed up, and it's not opening because I'm going too far down. So come up on your block. Come up as high as you can that you need to come up to open the chest, right? You see now my shoulder is over my leg. I can draw up through this leg. I can press the outer thigh forward, and I can turn. So if you have to come up higher, you can put your hand on the leg. All right, so let's repeat together. I'm going to do it from the side. Walk your feet apart. Hands on the base of the spine, tailbone forward, front of the thighs back. Lift the chest. Turn your right foot out. Make that turn come from the hip and press this outer thigh forward. Stretch your arms out. Look ahead of you. Good. Press into the back heel. Firm legs. Reach over. Come down on the block. Other hand up this time. And lift this block up as high as you need to, or bring your hand up on the leg. Keep rolling that leg from the inside out. And press the big toe down. Press the outer thigh and buttock area forward. Turn and reach up through your top arm. Keep pressing that back heel. Breathe. And inhale, come up. We'll go to the other side. Turn your left foot. Turn the back heel in, back foot a little bit. Press that outer heel. Now reach to the side. Be firm in your legs. Swing the top arm up. And now bring that hand up on your leg or higher up on the block so that your shoulder is in line with the leg. And you're drawing up through that front leg. Pressing the outer thigh and buttock area forward. Reach up through the top arm. Turn the chest. Breathe. And inhale, come up. Bend your leg, turn your toes. Jump or walk your feet together. So, this next pose is Ardha Uttanasana, half forward bend, and this is, by the way, a really good pose to do on your kitchen countertop. You just place your hands on the kitchen countertop, and then you do what we're going to do here. So we're going to place the hands on the wall, press, fingers spreading, press your hands into the wall, straighten your arms and roll the inner arms and the inner elbow creases up. And then as you straighten those arms, take your hips back, right? See how I'm moving my hips back and away from the wall, lengthening the space between the outer hip and the armpits. And look a little towards the wall. Move the sternum, the breastbone towards the chin. And let the head release down towards towards the floor, the back of the neck long. And work the legs. Lift your toes. Firm the legs. Lift the thighs. Lift the kneecaps. As if you're hugging the skin to the bone here. Press the toes down. Keep those actions of the legs. Sacrum, tail, top of the buttocks back to the lower buttocks. Navel to the spine. And bend the knees. Walk forward. And come to standing. Now for this next pose, I'd like you to turn your mat so you have your mat against the wall. And then you're going to have 2 blocks. So you're going to have lean against the wall, buttocks against the wall. Your feet are wide, the toes are pointing forward. And then you're going to lean forward, bring the blocks onto the top height. You could also use a chair here. So bring your blocks under your shoulders. Go a little wider once you lean forward. And press the outer heels, press the outer foot, but also press the big toe out. And lift those inner arches up. And press the inner legs out into the outer legs. And then press your hands, roll your inner arms forward, look forward as if you're seeing with the eyes of the chest. And notice when you do that, how if you look, if my chest is going back, my upper back is curling. So by looking forward with the chest, and lifting and rolling your inner arms forward, my upper back moves into the body. The spine moves into the body. Now firm the legs as before. Draw up through the legs. Draw the legs into the hips. And then walk your blocks forward. Walk your blocks forward. Keep moving the sit bones up the wall, legs firm, reaching the arms forward, reaching your trunk forward. Work those legs, bending just from the hip crease. Now if you're less flexible here, use a chair. So your hands are higher on a chair seat. Breathe, let the head go, let the back of the neck be long. Firm those legs. Breathe. And then walk the blocks back. Concave back. Don't skip this step. Concave back. And join the feet a little bit in, closer in. Come up. And come away from the wall. And meet me back on the mat for a relaxing pose. Now welcome back. For this next pose, supta Baddha Konasana, I'm going to use 3 blankets. So I have my yoga blanket that I'm folding once, and so it's long. My spine is going to lean on this blanket, and then I have a blanket for my head, and I'm going to have 2 blocks. So come to sitting on the front. Have your feet against the wall. And now take the soles of the feet together, bring them together, and then slide down. So lift the buttocks, move the tailbone towards the heels. And have a little bit of space there between, I staggered these blankets, between the blankets. If it's if you have a bolster here, you can move it back just a tiny bit. lift the chest, and then lie back. Lie back and bring these blocks under your outer thighs. Blankets are also nice. Adjust the blanket for your head and then roll those inner arms up towards the ceiling. Right? So the shoulder blades come into the back of the ribs. Relax your arms. Relax your body down into to the support. You can just notice your lower back. You can move the buttocks more towards the heels, or if your lower back is comfortable, you can make a little more space between the buttocks and the blankets. Now exhale fully and let your body release into the blankets. Let your outer shoulders release down towards the floor. As you're ready, just take a slightly deeper inhale, slightly fuller exhale. Bring your hands to your outer thighs and join the knees together. And then move the block and roll to your side, off the blankets, and come up. And then we're going to use these same blankets to set up for Shavasana, corpse pose. So take your top blanket, put that behind for your head, and turn these two blankets around. Sit in the center of your mat. You can make that top blanket a little bit round. Now lift the buttocks and move the tailbone towards the blankets. Lie down. Keep your knees bent. And just have the head blanket under your head. If your chin goes back, make it a little bit taller so the chin moves towards the chest slightly. The back of your neck is long. If you put your hands behind the head, just holding the head, holding behind the ears, and move the back of the head away from the neck, keeping that length in the back of the neck. And we'll hold the mat, roll the inner arms up, bring those shoulder blades under, release the hands, turn the palms up. Again, move the buttocks towards the heels, stretch one leg out at a time. Let the legs release to the side. Exhale fully. Let your body melt into the floor. Make yourselves completely comfortable here. With your exhales, releasing the tension in your body. Release the navel down towards the spine, spreading across the abdomen. Releasing the pelvic area. Releasing the thighs. Releasing the legs into the blankets. Releasing your eyeballs away from the eyelids. As if your eyeballs are rolling back towards the back of the skull. Soften the temples and the space between the eyebrows. As you're ready, take a slightly deeper inhale, full exhale. Bring your hands to your chest, bend your knees one by one. Roll to your side, bring your knees towards the chest, support your head. And with the head last, come up to sitting. Thank you for joining me in today's practice. Namaste.